in our notability folder, so for 484, 485, I'm going to start with a whole new note here. So let's click that and make a whole new note, because once we take a quiz, it will be starting from like today forward. So that'll give us an idea in terms of how we can look back to study for that quiz. And what we're going to do in the first part is to simplify rational expressions. So a rational expression, rational comes from ratio, which means fraction. So we have things that are fractions, and they're expressions, meaning it's not an equation, doesn't have an equal sign. So whenever you see the word expression, because the question comes up all the time, like, do you want the answers? Like, do you want number answers? Typically not. When it says expressions, we have variables in our answers quite a bit. So like this is an example of a rational expression, okay? Let's say we have x squared plus 3x minus 54 over x squared plus 13x plus 36. So that's a ratio, it's a fraction, and it's an expression because there's no equal sign. So what we're basically going to do is factor the top and bottom and cancel. All right, here, if you're not paying attention, pay attention right now. Do not do this. This is a huge mistake. Do not cancel the x squareds. Can't do that. Don't do that. Never do that. Okay? Because this plus and minus sign up there, that kind of makes that a group that we have to factor. So you cannot just cancel the x squareds right off the bat. Okay? What we have to do is factor the top and the bottom. So they're both trinomials, meaning they have three terms. There is no GCF for each one. So I'm going to factor both of them like this with our two sets of parentheses. So to factor the first one, and you know what, maybe I'm going to go back and just change colors. I'm just changing colors, guys. So I have x and x in my first two slots here on top. And now I need factors of 54. So it could be like 1 and 54, but I have to add or subtract to get 3. So that's not going to work. And I know 54 is even, so like 2 and 27, but those are too far apart. I need two that are kind of close together. And 9 times 6 is 54. So I'm going to put 9 and 6 here. And I want to get positive 3x when I FOIL that out. So I need to have plus 9 and minus 6. Because plus 9 and minus 6 would give us a positive 3 when I combine the outside and inside. So to do the next one, we have x and x. And now I want factors of 36. Well, 36 and 1 is not going to work because I can't get 13 from that. 6 and 6 doesn't work because I can't get 13 from 6 and 6. Let's see, 12 and 3. I'm kind of in the ballpark. But that's not going to work also. But 9 times 4 is 36, and I can get 13 from 9 and 4. And that's plus 9 and plus 4 to get us a positive 13 in the middle, okay? One thing, let me just do the next step here. And we're going to cancel. So when we cancel our x plus 9s, now we can cancel out the entire factor, and we're done. Our answer is x minus 6 over x plus 4. So we simplified that rational expression. Now, if you're having trouble, depending on your factoring skills, remember the whole reason we're factoring is because we want to cancel stuff out. So like if I was having trouble factoring that bottom, I might look to the top as a hint and say, all right, well, what maybe can I cancel out, or are one of those a factor for the bottom?
I have a question.
Yes.
So you know how like you like cross them out?
Yes.
Do they have to be like do they have to be x plus 9 and like x minus 9 to cancel it out? Can you do that?
Yeah, good question. They both have to be exactly the same. So it's x plus 9 and x plus 9, so we can cancel them. If it was x plus 9 on top and x minus 9 on the bottom, you cannot cancel those. They have to be exactly the same on the top and the bottom. All right, we're going to do another one, which is going to be longer and uglier, but the process is very similar. It's the same, actually. So we have x squared over x squared minus 16 times x squared minus 8x plus 16 over 5x to the third. So this is just longer. We just have like more stuff that we have to factor. So in our next step, I'm going to factor this top right part, and I'm going to factor the bottom left part. This part and this part, they don't factor, but I do have a GCF. Remember we talked about common factors. So as long as I have the option, I'm going to cancel something right away. I can cancel an x squared there and cancel two of those x's, leaving me a 5x on the bottom. So now, when I factor that top right part, I need factors of 16 that give me 8, which would be x minus 4 times x minus 4, because I need to get negative 8 from my outside and inside. We need to factor this guy, the x squared minus 16. That's a difference of squares. So that's going to factor into x minus 4, x plus 4. And don't forget, we also have the 5x on the bottom, okay, from here. So I just factored everything. And now I'm going to cancel. And my x minus 4's cancel. Nothing else does. So I'm done. I just have to write my answer. On top, I have x minus 4. And on the bottom, I have 5x times x plus 4, which you could write in reverse order also. It could be x plus 4 times 5x. Usually, like the 5x would be written in front there, so I did so. But if you wrote it in reverse order on the bottom, that would be okay. And back to the last question, remember, we cannot cancel the x minus 4 and x plus 4 because they have to be exactly the same. Can't cancel
Mr.
this,
O'Connor.
this x and that x. Can't cancel those because of the minus 4 up top.
Yeah, Mr. O'Connor.
Yeah.
Does the order matter if we're answering the question on like a test on Delta Math or like a homework assignment on Delta Math? Will it
Yeah, good
care
question.
if 5x
No, it
is
does
first?
not. It accepts it in any order.
Okay, cool.
So if you wrote that, even in Delta Math, if you wrote that as x minus 4 over x plus 4 times 5x, yes, that would be perfectly fine. All right, let's do one more, and then I'm going to have you guys practice a couple together. All right, so we got x squared minus 4 on the top left over 5x plus 30. And now it's going to be divided by x squared plus 11x plus 18. Over 3x plus 27. Now notice this one is divided by as opposed to multiplied by. So what we do with that, if we're dividing by a fraction, is we just flip over the right side. So I'm just going to take the top and put it on the bottom and the bottom and put it on the top. All in one step, though, what I'm going to do is factor those at the same time. Okay. So like I'm going to factor the top here and then put it on the bottom, and factor the bottom and then put it on the top. So in our next step, let's factor everything. In the top left, we have a difference of squares. So that's going to factor into x minus 2 times x plus 2. And our bottom left, we have a GCF of 5, a common factor of greatest common factor of 5. So I can factor a 5 out times x plus 6. Now this bottom right, I'm going to factor it, but then put the factors up top. So there's a GCF of 3. So I'm going to pull a 3 out. It's going to be 3 times x plus 9, but I'm going to put that up top. Because remember, because it was division, we're flipping over the right-hand side. And then likewise, this right top, I'm going to factor and put on the bottom. So that factors into x plus 9, x plus 2, which is now on the bottom. So that was a big step. We did two things. We factored everything and flipped over the right-hand side. And now it's our time to cancel. So, all right, let's see what goes. X plus 2 and X plus 2, we can cancel those guys. X plus 9 and X plus 9, we can cancel those guys. I think that might be it. We can't reduce the 3 and the 5. We can't reduce those. X minus 2 and X plus 6, those don't reduce at all. So our answer is on top 3 times X minus 2. And on the bottom, 5 times X plus 6. All right, any questions, guys?